This is an unboxing video for the backpack that I'm about to reveal. Where this is coming from is, as a podcaster, I do a lot of on-location interviews in person, and I have been using this backpack. I know that this is from 2008 because I got it when I was at the 2008 Summer Olympics in Beijing. And now, all these years later, because I have used it so much, this has just gotten so worn out that I'm just really afraid that it's on its last legs and it's going to collapse on me. So what I want to accomplish with this unboxing video is not only show you what I purchased, but I want to transfer everything in there to make sure that everything is going to fit nicely, because that's one thing about that backpack. It's really served me well in terms of all the podcasting gear that I carry inside of it. Although the TSA people are usually quite perplexed when they see it going through the scanner, and that's because of the microphones. But I'm optimistic that this one's going to do a good job, that it's going to serve me well for a long time, that everything will fit nicely. I don't know how you pronounce the company name, but it's made by Matein, and I have a 17-inch laptop that I always carry with me, and so that was important to me also. In addition to all the podcasting gear, a number of people said that they have the same size laptop, and so they attested to the fact that it will fit in there. So for purposes of this video, you're not going to actually see me putting the laptop into it, but I'm already optimistic that it's not going to even be a problem, that it'll fit in just fine. And I'm actually about to go on the road for 2 weeks, and so I need this at a very critical time. I don't know that the one that I've had would have held up anymore, and I would have just been too nervous carrying it around for 2 weeks and fearing that that strap was going to finally give in on the back. Now, a couple of things about this one, some nice features, is this has wheels on it. And so a lot of people in their reviews, the product reviews, I did buy this on Amazon, and a lot of the people on Amazon who had purchased it were saying, use the wheels as you're going, say, from gate to gate in the airport, and then as you approach the gate, throw it on your back as a backpack, so that it doesn't become an issue of we need to check that for you. So I do like that hidden inside are the straps that you just put on your back. You can see the wheels here, and then eventually I will fish out the handle that you use. The straps are in here that you put on your back, but I'll fish out the handle, and that's right here, by the way. So that'll be what I'll lift up so that I can wheel it around. As I open this one up, you'll see I've got a real routine here of what I always used to do, but everything's just kind of laying loose, meaning that when I close it, that's what was holding everything in place. But as you can see, there's really nothing supporting these things. So I kind of have my own method that I've developed. I've got a selfie stick here. I'll just kind of try to start putting this back in the same way I was always used to packing this one. This is a tabletop banner that has branding for my Now Hear This Entertainment podcast. So I like to set that up wherever possible, especially if it's someplace public where people might walk by and see and go, oh, what are these folks doing? And they don't interrupt the interview and start saying, what are you doing here? They can see the signs. These bags each have microphone stands in them. This is an audio interface. This is a handheld recorder, which I usually XLR my microphones into. And then I do have 2 microphones that I carry around with me. For the time being, I think I might actually lay these in a little different than I'm used to, but I can always change and see what configuration is going to work best. Now I'm noticing that this doesn't have inside pockets, and you'll see in this one, my mic flags are not only still wrapped in plastic, because I am that way, but they had their own pocket in there. So I may have to kind of explore this bag a little bit further, see what other pockets it has, see what other storage ideas. This is for advancing slides when you're doing a PowerPoint if I'm speaking somewhere. The manual from the handheld recorder. Here's a couple XLR cables. So those absolutely have to be in there all the time. And then this is the power supply for the handheld recorder. I usually like to run it that way instead of trusting the batteries to be good. So everything does seem to be fitting in here nicely. And then I've still got one more wire that I'm going to lay down there. And then the big items are my headphones. Those I usually had set up top. Those seem to be fitting in okay, and I'm confident that when I zip this closed, it's going to be just fine. An extension cord, which reminds me that I really need to and want to get an actual power strip. And I had taken these out and mentioned them, but I didn't put them in, the mic flags. And I am finding a little bit of extra room. You can see as I'm pulling up on the top of the backpack and the pointer that I referred to. That's about it. This is something that is really unique. I'm going to bring it with me on this particular trip. This is not what it's meant for, but I'm actually going to try to use it as a selfie stick. Even though I have a selfie stick, that one's kind of old and it sometimes will just kind of fall on you. This is a device made by Gravity Stands that really will allow you to kind of move it in so many different configurations that right now I'm just doing this to show you the different configurations that you can turn it into. I use it here in my studio to hold one of my webcams, but I'm turning it right now and trying to get it as compact as I can for purposes of putting it inside the backpack, and that's going to fit in just fine. I mean, it doesn't have to look pretty. The important part is to get all this stuff in there, and so now that everything's in, I am going to try to secure it all, and I think I'm going to have success, which makes me feel better. You see that I did close that very easily, so it's not bulging. Now again, I don't have the laptop in here, however, I am still going to be able to close this with quote-unquote room to spare. Now the good news is that as much as there were things like this pouch on the front, and by the way, you know, there were a couple of convenient little slots in there, and as much as there was, as I showed before, this here where I would do things like, you know, throw extra batteries in there. I mentioned about the water bottle on the one side. Then there's a pocket on this side, which I've randomly used that for things. There was also this pouch here on my old one, and this is where I used to put the laptop for this one, is the laptop was always by itself in the back, and there is a flap there, and I would maybe usually put like some papers there. But on this one, so the back, you see that I've taken out those straps that'll go over my shoulder, right? And they got a really nice heavy metal hook that I'm going to just attach to that when I'm ready to actually put it on my back. But here's the great thing. So when you turn this around, I mentioned the water bottles holders on both sides, but the front, oh my gosh, there is so much available in the front. So these zippers here, this is that main pouch where we were. That's where I put all the podcasting gear already. But those are closed. And now if you open these, wow, there is a lot of space here. I mean, I talked about the laptop. That could be where this goes, because on the back, there is a little flap here, and you can hear the Velcro. So, you know, you got to be careful. You don't want to put your passport in there because this is going to wear out over time and it could fall out. But something that's really thin that you want secure, because there is a zipper here for these straps, that can go there. And here, my gosh, there's a lot to take advantage of here. And then on top of it, you've got a small little flap up top where you can store stuff, and then you have this whole front pouch as well. And this, you see, has all kinds of little compartments. You put some pens in here. Here's one, here's one. This has a zipper on it, for Pete's sake, not to mention a whole nother pocket back here. So there's going to be plenty of storage in here. I wish it would stay as quote-unquote flat as it is now, but I know I'm going to load this thing up. But now seeing how many different storage compartments there are, I'm going to feel a lot better about loading it up, because I know that it has the capacity and I can separate stuff out if I want to or need to by category, like business cards or batteries or whatever the case may be. So I'm really excited to put this thing into use, and I'm glad that I bought it.